Hello, Mini Kit Monday Scrappy friends. So, I am still working with this photo play set here. And I do make kind of an effort to try to target the scraps that I have with my papers and then go to the bigger pieces. So, I have a feeling I'll be using this cute yellow and this green. I'm thinking of this goldenrod color here for my background. I love this paper though, so that's kind of tricky, but I do need a background piece. And let me see if I can show you. I'm going to be slightly scrap lifting, slightly, because I'm using pattern paper and all that. This right here from Scrap Squad. So I was thinking I needed a background piece, but I do love this. So maybe I'll use this one. We'll switch on over, and I will be concentrating on using a couple of these pieces right here. The photo I'm going to be using is this one right here. This is my daughter Shay and her friend Emily, and they were in Ocean City, Maryland. So, and they're dressed all so cute and pretty and looking like genuine ladies. So I'm going to use that. That's my scrap lift. And if you take a look here, when I scrap lift, it never looks like what you see. But what I'm taking from it is that I really liked some of the mixed media I see. I see a little modeling paste perhaps, and I see some splatty bits. So I thought I would start with kind of a modeling paste kind of thing. And I'm going to see, I have the pasties putting on the glitz. I don't know if that's dried out or not. And for backups, I have these two Bo Bunny glitter pastes. These are both just from Tuesday morning. So I'm going to start with putting on the glitz and go from there. Stencil I'm going to use is my very favorite Tortured stencil. Rarely does this poor thing even get a bath. And this is my favorite little spatula tool for when I am putting on textury things. So I'm going to do that. Now let's go into these splatty bits that I have. And I keep using these three, A, because they're in the bin next to me, and B, they keep working for colors I have going. So clearly I love this combination. So this will be where the splatty bits come in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my background paper down here and my three kind of inspiration pieces to start with. I'm going to move the rest out of the way. And the reason being is I'm reaching under my desk and I have my, I keep this little box here. It's kind of like a pizza box. I keep it to do any kind of splatter stuff. I did a layout just a little while ago without using it, and it taught me once again why I always use it, because my navy blue, looks like I'm using Wild Child here from Freebird. My navy blue went all over a white desk, and now this white desk is sitting there with nice little, very light baby blue polka dots, which is kind of not what I would have liked. Oh my. Okay, yeah, this has been a minute since it's been opened. Let's see. Oh, it is gooey. Look at that. So this is pasties putting on the glitz, and I think it, oh, yep, it has a little iridescent kind of look to it, and it's a little sparkly. So let's see what this does for us. See if it gives me enough of whatever it is I think I'm looking for. Now I'm going to have most of my design on this side as it had in the layout that I'm very loosely scrap lifting. So I'm not going to worry too much about where things end up, because so much of our mixed media does get covered up. I'm just going to have some fun putting some here and there, and actually getting a little traction on using a product up. Not that I'll use it up. I know I won't use it up today, but I do so love the feeling of when I get somewhere with some product. Now, I'm not worrying, like I said, too much of exactly where this goes or how even or straight or any of that it is, because I do know I'll have different papers on it and it'll just get kind of covered. But it's one of those things that if I'm going to tilt this in any which way or the light will kind of end up on it, then you will see these little sparkly plus signs. I'm going to clean this up super quick. I have a cloth right next to me on the floor from when I was cleaning up my desk. So, not that I do a great job with this, I assure you, but I'll clean it a tiny bit while I'm at it here. Next, I'm going to go ahead and just splatter on my Heidi Swapp Color Shine colors, and I'm using gold, navy, and I believe, is it coral? And coral. So, okay, yeah, this poor thing has been tortured. But that's okay. I like it. And it's used to it. Hold on one second. Now my hands are all sticky. Hold on. So my intention next is I'm going to put these pasties away. Could really use a tiny bin for just mixed media that I'm concentrating on in my room. Okay, so I want to go ahead and put my box here, which the sprays, the Color Shine should give me just a little bit of traction as well with having those little plus signs show up more. All right, so this is the navy, and there's really nice navy in this background paper. Oh, and also let you know I have gessoed nothing, and I am good with that. So I'm gonna go just a little heavy-handed here, which I never tend to be very delicate with it anyway. So, because I want to make sure that some of it will show once I get my photos on and my papers and all that kind of stuff. And I can always go back in if I choose to and add just a little bit more splatty bits. And yes, I know the technical name is not splatty bits, but that's how I think of them. Sometimes the pigment gets a little stuck on the bottom, so I will be exuberant in shaking it. So this is a peach tone, and there's a lot of coral in this and some of the lighter peach. So it'll be just enough. It's not like a main element that I'm going to be using, but it is awfully pretty with that little bit of sparkle. Don't you love when you do mixed media and it looks nothing more than a hot mess until you really start getting your photos and paper and all that on it? Or maybe that's just mine. I don't know. Now another element that I'm going to add in right away is I have this twine that was in this little mini kit I'm using, and I'm going to spiral that along as well because there is a twiny fabric element in the scrap lift that I'm doing. That is on Scrap Squad. So you see I am going a little bit higher up and not being super careful about where it lands. Just that I'm making it a much deeper concentration on this side. All right, so that is that part for now. I'm going to put it aside a tiny bit and start working on where the photos are going to end up and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and fast forward the next parts and all that and do a voiceover. Here we go. So I was trying to let this stuff dry, but I know that I will not achieve, see, look at me trying to wave it off, because I'm going to end up smeared a few times with my hands, but it so just doesn't matter. I just don't have the patience to sit there and come back the next day. Not when I have my ideas in mind. So I'll go ahead and start working on some of the other elements while it's trying to get there. Oh, and then remember how I said I wanted to get this twine stuff that was in my kit on there? I'm kind of pressing it down into that, the pasty stuff to adhese it down. And then I thought I'd put a little liquid adhesive on there as well. And that's going to be another basis for where my photos and my different elements go. And that's very loosely based on what was in the scrap lift. But it was in this kit, and like I said, I'm trying to use up this kit bit by bit. I mean, there's no way I will be able to kill it this month. Well, I would be hard pressed to kill it this month, but I'm enjoying the idea of getting a little traction with it. So that's what that twiny bits are. It's just another continuation of the mixed media and all the textury bits. So the picture of the two girls will be sitting right about there, and then I'm going to have to go ahead and start figuring out what the other elements that I'm going to want on this. I do know that I want to go ahead and back this photo, so I'm trying to see which pattern paper will suit it best. I really like this deep green with the bird print. I think it's the back side of the orange paper that I used on my last layout. Oh yeah, full disclosure, there's a bulldog taking himself a real nice nap in this room right now, so you might hear this snoring sound. Yeah, he's on the floor right now, but he's really loud. All right, so looks like I'm starting with a full matting of this really nice deep orange. It's what I call like that dusty summer burnt orange. I don't know. It's a little too descriptive. And then I'm going to put it on this block of the deep green. So it's going to have kind of a nice base for the photo, and your eye's really going to get drawn to that. I have so much going on already with the pattern paper and the multiple colors of mixed media that I thought it needed something to really strongly ground it. I wanted to use these Vicki Boutin title pieces, and I'm going to use Shine On. The gold in it, it's a little bit of a dirtier gold, and it did, for me, look a lot like the mustard gold that was in the background paper. It was kind of picking it up a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and use some of these little glittery hearts that also come in the Vicki Boutin. They're foam stickers. And I do love it when designers go ahead and they add shapes and different bits like that in along with their word elements. I think it really allows us to do kind of like a visual triangle and add more interest to our layouts, that it's not just like some random bit just on there without marrying with other product. You know what I mean? All right, so I'm going through and looking at the Vicki Boutin chipboard. Now, I don't know if you remember when I did my initial mini kit Monday kit for this month that I said I really wanted to try to concentrate on one kit designer kind of thing and then move to the next. So I used up 99% of the paper from my Vicki Boutin kit. Then I'm going on to the next mini kit that I have within this kit, and I got the base of that, but then I'm going back to try to use up stuff from my first kit, if that makes sense. So I'm trying to build on, and I am able to use a nice amount of the product from this Vicki Boutin line. You see like where I have the numbers going down in a line. That was also in that Scrap Squad scrap lift. Something that looks a little bit like that was on there as well. So I have these adorable little bows that I picked up from Tuesday morning, and they're slightly off-white. They're not like a super, super bright white and gold that are in here, and I think they're just adorable. And they do work with a photo, as the photo is two girls that are all dressed up looking cute. So at this point, I'm just auditioning different little bits. I'm using some Illustrated Faith larger, these larger epoxy pieces, which I thought went nicely, like the navy blue and off-white hearts that are on the top of the photo. And I'm seeing if any of these love and lemon breads will work, and I believe they will. I think I am able to get 3 of them on here, which is fun. And you know, it's one of those odd things that I try to see, like on a package. Let's say it's breads. I try to see which 3 things I can use that wouldn't be easy to use on something else. If you understand what I'm saying, because you know you can always use the plain ones on other things. So I target kind of like the ones really specific to my layout first, if that makes sense. Anywho, if it doesn't, that's what I do. So I'm going to go ahead and get 3 of those on, and I will go ahead as well and put a little piece of washi tape on the back of them so that they don't get caught up on other layouts or scratch photos or all that stuff before they get put into protectors. I'm going to go ahead and try to tuck the top part of that little brad under the bow. It looks cute. It's like a little brad with a little bow on its brad head. Okay, that makes even less sense. Anyway, you know, as scrappers, we think things are cute that most people are like, don't even notice. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and use a little liquid adhesive on this piece here. It's, you know, it's going, you know, over pieces that have the twine and, quite frankly, the Vicki Boutin chipboard and stickers and all that. They are just not that sticky. They, yeah, for the most part, you have to use extra adhesive on almost all of it. It's just the nature of the little beastie. I'm going ahead and doing just a tiny bit of journaling on this, and I used a black Sharpie, on this little pop-up tab piece. I wanted to go ahead and do it before I put the tab in, just in case I smeared it, because I tend to smear things. I tend to get my fingers right where I should not. So yeah, that's the way I did that. And then I'm seeing if I can use any of these little Heidi swap pieces. I picked them up at Tuesday morning, and I'm sure I had them the first time around. These are a good number of years old, I believe. But the package is new to me, and I'm going to go ahead and get these cute little, they're kind of like a deeper mustard color, these little butterflies in. And then I'm going to go ahead and see what I might be able to use in the Vicki Boutin die cuts. And I do use this gigantic floral piece, and I'll bring in a couple of more pieces of this brighter turquoise aqua into the layout just so that it makes sense, because it is an entirely different color than like that deep green. And even the Heidi Swap butterfly that I have towards the bottom there, it's a little bit more muted. So I wanted to go ahead and just bring in a little bit more to make the colors cohesive that I have used so far. And once again, like I said, I'm doing my best to bring in as much Vicki Boutin into these layouts as I go. And I think it's been going pretty well. So I'm going to see if I can make any of these little Citrus Twist Kit Club. There were exclusives to a kit that I got once upon a time. These tiny word stickers, and they do go really, really well with that floral piece that I have on the left-hand side. That was one of the things, like I said, I was really trying to bring in that color in a couple more places, and these little stickers are perfect for that. And also, it's kind of a very specific color, so I've been having a bit of a time trying to integrate them onto my layouts. I'm going to use some of these great little mirrored pieces by My Mind's Eye Yes Please collection, and they're going to give another dimension, a little mirror shine, as well as some acrylic on there. So that's going to wrap up most of the rest of my layout. If you want to like and subscribe, go ahead down below. That would be great. Any comments and that kind of stuff, questions, go ahead and ask them. I'll get back to you ASAP. And if you want to be notified of when I put up my next video, go ahead and hit the notification button and it will let you know. All right, that's it today. Thanks for watching, friends. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.